Good morning, everybody. My name is Steve Moore. I'm the owner of Run More, this brick and mortar running shop located on Main Street in Westminster, Maryland. Thank you so much for checking out our channel. Today we're going to be talking about the new Mizuno Horizon 5. This shoe is coming out in end of March, early April of 2021. This is Mizuno's most cushioned, most stable running shoe that they make. We have been carrying Mizuno since we opened in 2014. I've kind of always had a soft spot in my heart for Mizuno because I've run on them from time to time in college and post-college, and I always had pretty good success with them. And I just think they're a nice little brand. And we get some people that, I don't know if it's like, disrespect Mizuno or just don't know much about the brand, and we'll have people that come in and they'll try on, you know, like an A6 or a Brooks, whatever, and I'll pull out a Mizuno and say, oh, is this a brand new brand? Yeah, they started making athletic wear in 1906, so they actually have been around a long time. They've been making running shoes since the very early 80s, but as far as the brand making athletic stuff and baseball gloves and golf clubs and stuff, they've been around since 1906, so they've been around the block a little bit here. This shoe has been a nice update from version 4. So version 5 is going to be your max stability, max cushion shoe. What's famous about Mizuno and what's going to go into this shoe is their wave plate. If you know Mizuno, all their shoes have sort of like the wave in there. There's the Wave Inspire, there's the Wave Rider, there's the Wave burr, 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 burr. This is the Horizon. So what makes the Wave special is that it's designed to sort of do two things. It helps with cushioning and it helps with stabilization. So all of their shoes have a wave plate in the middle of their different layers of midsole on it. So the idea being is as you step down and shock, your shock absorption gets better distributed about the shoe because of the wave technology built in there. And also depending on sort of how the plate is positioned and shaped, it's going to help with different levels of stability. So this is a full wave plate designed to help with shock absorption and to help with shock stability as well. So it's sandwiched between their new midsole, this X-Pop midsole, with a nice wave plate in there to help with cushion and stability. You know, I'm going to try to compare this to a couple shoes the best that I can, because if you never put on this shoe and it's like, what, you know, where does this kind of fall on the line over here? I might pull this for somebody who might be looking at like an A6 Kayano or maybe like a Brooks Beast. You know, we talk about stability in shoes. We talk about somebody who over or under pronates and where this kind of falls in the line and what's happening with your foot. And some of the shoes we have there, they all have their own different ways of doing stabilization. We mentioned this one has that wave plate, but it also has these little ridges that kind of go around the shoe on both the medial and the lateral side. So not only do we have this plate technology in here that's designed to help with stabilization, just the shape and the geometry of this shoe is designed to help you from both rotating in or out. People will put on some of our stability shoes here, and even though it's a stable shoe, and I'm just going to pick on one shoe, we'll just call it the Hoka Gaviota. That is a very stable shoe, and somebody who might also try, a Horizon might also try a Gaviota. Somebody who's like, hey, longer miles, big cushion, big stability, but they might put on that shoe and say, I feel so unstable in the shoe. I feel like I'm all over the place. The roll feels weird, or maybe another shoe out there that has like a lower heel. They don't feel stable. The word that I use when I pull this shoe out is sturdy. And it's not meant to be a dig, it's not to be anything, it's sturdy. You feel stable in this shoe. You don't feel like you're rocking, you don't feel like you're rolling, you don't feel like you're you feel really sniped and secure in this shoe. Not secure as in like super tight, narrow, snug, you just feel very stable. And that's sort of what you're hoping for in a stability shoe. You can also tell by looking at the shoe that it has a pretty significant heel to toe drop. And again, every brand has their own different ways of heel drops and stability. This is a pretty traditional 10 millimeter heel to toe drop. And to put that in comparison, something that we just talked about, like a Brooks Beast, is going to be a little bit higher at 12 millimeters. So a lot of times people are familiar with more of a higher heel drop. So somebody who's like maybe an old school runner or somebody who's just used to having shoes that have a higher drop, this feels a little bit more like a stable home to them than some of the stuff over there that may have a little bit different thought and just experience on what you want to experience on their stability and how their heel drop feels. So this is going to be a more stable feeling shoe in a higher drop. What I like on this is part of the new X-Pop midsole here. As you can kind of see the bottom of this, you've got a little bit of squishiness here, and you've got a little bit of responsiveness up here. So when you kind of lean back on the shoe, you can almost feel that you're soft and protected in the middle, and then depending on where you roll your ankles, you can feel it trying to fix you right there. So it's like you sink down a little bit, and then depending on which way you try to rock and roll, it's going to try to push you back. And that also helps with the energy return on that wave plate we were talking about there. So it's sort of kind of pushing you and counteracting the way you move and still giving you that energy return that wave is trying to account for there. I want to just go back real quick to go back to sort of the drop that we were talking about. And depending on sort of injuries that people have, I sort of pull things depending, I might listen to what they're telling me and say like, I think you'd be better off with a higher drop, a lower drop, depending on what's going on. So somebody who might want to try this shoe is somebody who's got some pains on, maybe they're overpronating, maybe they're underpronating. But what I really like with a shoe that has sort of a drop like this, if somebody's having like heel and Achilles pain, I've noticed for us that when somebody comes in that has like Achilles tendonitis or just sort of that heel pain that's bothering them, that's non-plantar fasciitis, if you sort of help raise and stabilize that heel, it sort of helps some of the inflammation go down. So we have somebody that comes in here that just may be dealing with that. This is a great shoe to pull. One of the things I liked about this shoe, and it sort of goes against some of the stuff that you may have had, preconceived notions on Mizuno, is it's nice and wide. This is a standard width, and it does come in wides as well. But I've had some Mizuno shoes going back to like the Wave Rider where I'd have to size up a little bit because it was cut a little bit narrow. And some people prefer just a more narrow cut shoe. This Horizon, which is great because of sort of what it's trying to be, it fits and feels way better to me than some of the other Mizuno stuff out there. I've got a wider 4-foot shoe. This is great and wide, and I don't need to size up. I don't need to go to a wide shoe. It fits and feels great. And even though it does weigh a little bit at 11.7 ounces on the men's and 9.7 on the women, it doesn't feel all that clunky. And this is going to be great for somebody who's going, again, long distance stuff or just wants a big cushiony shoe or somebody doing long walking. Just to show how much I sort of like this shoe, my father-in-law is a big walker. He walks about 6 miles a day, and he has been known to just wear a shoe out and will, it's fine, get some more miles out of it. He reached out to me and he's been having hip pain. He said, what shoe would you recommend to me? I've been having hip pain on the outside of my leg and it's been bugging me and it's kind of slowing up my walking. I've got all these shoes at my disposal. I can send him one pair of shoes that I think will work for him. This is the shoe that I'm going to send him. I think it's going to be perfect for him for what he's doing. It's going to make him feel sturdy. He's not somebody who wants to be rocking and rolling or low heel, all of some of the other stuff that's out there. Something that he can feel like he's going to get a little bit of energy return, something he can feel nice and stable, and it's going to prevent him from over or under pronating here. So this is the new Horizon. It's $160. Other thing I want to talk about on Mizuno just real quick is the durability. We get that question a lot on shoes, is what's the life expectancy of a shoe? How long can I wear a pair of shoes? On a running shoe, we always say 350 to 500 miles is sort of our end goal in there. Obviously, that's a pretty big range because there's a ton of different variables like how often you're running, the type of surface that you're on, are you rotating your shoes, or is this your only shoe? I have found, and you probably had this experience, that some brands last longer than others. There might be a brand out there that has more exposed foam or is more squishy soft, and you can kind of feel over time you get lower and lower in this. Mizuno shoes are some of the most durable shoes we have out there. So I always think you're going to get on the high side of this. And on walking shoes, again, it's sort of just a guessing range of on there. I think you're going to get 1.5 times that. So if you're somebody who's going to be getting like 500 miles of running, I don't see any reason why you couldn't get 750 miles of walking out of the shoe easily if this is going to be your everyday walking shoe. So Mizuno Horizon, any questions, feel free to leave it down below. If you've had good or bad experiences with Mizuno, leave it down below. I'm really curious to see what people think. If you have any questions, reach out to us. We're always here, happy to help. And if you like our videos, give us a like and subscribe. It really helps us find new people. You can, of course, shop. We have a link down below to our online store where you can purchase this shoe or any other fine shoes here. Enter promo code RUNMORE at checkout. We'll save 10% and we'll ship it out to you for free. Thank you so much, and stay safe out there and happy running. Thanks.